get that week. Like there are definite campaigns I've noticed. Um, like I've learned to notice who's trying to bait me and who isn't. Um, Sometimes it hits you. Like sometimes you just can't. Like it just hurts, and it's like because it's something out of the blue, and it's like what? Oh God! Like I guess he's like and then you think, oh God, he's right. It's like I you have to just not worry. You just have to not worry.
Yeah. What do you think about the whole theory of like if something hurts you or something like affects you in a negative way, you're responsible for how you feel about it. Like what do you think about that?
That assumes that people are inherently good, and I reject that worldview. I don't think people are inherently good. I think people are fallen. This is my religious upbringing, but I think people are fallen. I think people are vindictive and cruel, and they will take every chance they can to sink their teeth into you if they get a chance. And you do have to kind of remember that sometimes people are just inherently vile. I don't believe in this. I don't know if you want to call it victim blaming, victim mindset thing, where it's no. Sometimes someone is just they have ill intent towards you. Like the person that I had on my stream last year, that I think dive bombed my channel. He had ill intent with wanting to come on the channel, and he obfuscated his intentions. And then I paid for it, and he got off on that. That was a shitty thing for him to do, and I paid for it since.
Sure.
I think that one thing about growing up and one thing about growing older is realizing that people do not have your best interest at heart, especially if money is involved. And YouTube is all money. This is just a livelihood that people are trying to take away from us, period. And, you want to talk about self-expression all you want and all this other stuff, but it's about the money. It really is. I mean, there's no real, if you're not going to get paid, why would you put it out there? And I don't care what people think of that. There's a material interest. If they demonetize me tomorrow, guess what I'm not going to be doing? So.
Right. Well, so when people are negative towards you, you don't, if you feel negatively, it's you want to kind of, what do you do? Do you you basically you think that person needs to stop behaving like that or something like that? It's not you don't imagine like a future scenario where tons of people, you could be reading the chat and tons of people are being negative to you, and it doesn't even affect you, it doesn't even phase you, you're just you're invincible, you know what I mean? You don't envision that potentially.
Oh, I've had those streaks. Yeah,
okay,
I've had those streaks. Sometimes I'm really on, and lately I've been really on. I had a guy
I would have to think so, because you're a live streamer, so it's you have to be exposed to all these things. So you have to have some sort of callous, defenses in your mind.
You do develop that. You develop that. And I had a guy tell me recently that I was in love with my own voice. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I am. That's why I feed it back into my own head. That's why I listen to it in my monitors. I do love the sound of my own voice. Thank you very much.
We all do.
You exactly, but that's somebody trying to get me. Yeah. And it's yes, I do. Oh, you're just doing this for money. Yes, you're correct. You're correct.
Just say yes to it. That's
exactly.
I love that comeback. I love that.
It's oh, you just want to use women for sex. Yes. And you know what I mean? It's if you're gonna try to shame me and try to act like I'm rolling around in the mud and I'm a bad person and you're this moral virtue, white whatever ivory tower on a hill.
Right.
Who died and made you God?
Right.
I don't know you from Adam. And 9 times out of 10, I meet you in real life, I'm going to be the one walking away from that interaction better off. So, put it that way.
Do you have, I wonder if you have a similar experience of do you, with doing YouTube for as long as you've done it, do you feel like, you used to be scared and ashamed and guilty of saying certain things that now you don't, you felt like you were guilty and you were ashamed and you felt like you were doing something wrong, right? So you felt like it was actually wrong what you were saying, but now that you've done YouTube for so long, those same things you'll say freely now. You have no shame or guilt around it. You don't think that what you're saying or how you're behaving is wrong. Do you feel like you've crushed, like, obliterated a lot of shame barriers that were like imaginary illusions in your head of like they were making you feel like you were a bad person when it was just all imaginary?
I've actually been pretty consistent in my worldview, my outlook, and what I want out of this and what I want out of life. Somebody about a year ago went and dug up some like 14-year-old Twitter account of mine and was like, made this giant expose and video about, oh, this guy's, he's never going to be helped. He's never going to be, he was like this in 2014 and all this other shit. I'm like, if anything, that proves my authenticity. Because I was like drunk tweeting from a bar, pissed off seeing hot women come to the bar and like leave with guys. Like, I remember those tweets and I remember that feeling. That was a real thing. And there's nothing more painful than the cute girl sits at the bar and she leaves with the hot guy that shows up like 2 seconds and they just go. And it's like, yeah, I remember that a lot. Now, I think if you watch my stuff, I've actually been very consistent. I feel like there's a few things that direct market feedback has kind of cajoled me one way or the other. There's a few things that I like politically that I was really kind of afraid to say, that the zeitgeist of the times, the Overton window, as they call it, has kind of opened a certain way, and especially with current events. YouTube also has become a lot more laxed. Although recently I uploaded a video and I think I said too many keywords and I got the little yellow demonetization on it, and I had to upload it to Rumble instead because I'm just not gonna do that to myself. I don't know. There's things that I have, any development, and I'm going to say something that's going to piss off a lot of people right now. Any development that I've done, any self-improvement I've done, has been to spite anybody that has given me shit.
Hello.
On my YouTube channel. And it's been
High Priestess.
Okay, I need to slow down on this.
Aren't you? I thought you were 11 in.
Reassess this.
Aren't you 11 in?
I do not directly attribute any of my personal growth to the people.
You must be on a different account.
In fact, usually people that yell at me constantly, I want to do the opposite of that thing. So I will say that any development or growth or mindset shift that anyone's noticed in me in the
Why
last
won't this
year and a half,
website
2 years
load?
has come from personal introspection.
What am I looking at?
You know what I mean?
Oh my god.
I don't know if you've experienced that as well.
Hello.
Sometimes I feel like YouTube helps me with personal introspection. Like I don't know what I think or who I am.
You change your name.
I
High Priestess is pretty good.
Until I say it in a setting.
So yeah, he hasn't contacted yet.
Safe, which is
Just
it's weird to feel safe.
sit tight.
Things on
Be patient.
The internet, the whole world, but it is a real thing. Nobody's in the room with you. You're almost more. There was something that Joe Rogan was telling. He was talking to Theo Vaughn about on a recent podcast, and he said he was talking to Theo, and he said you're very. It's weird being your friend because when I try to ask you about things like, is something going on with you?
Why isn't this page loading? What the heck?
You just don't really say much to me. Like you don't really open up. And then I see you on your YouTube channel, and you're being completely vulnerable.
I'm just impatient because I'm excited.
Being, telling things that you never tell me in private. And it's almost like.
Thankfully,
and I
TikTok
exactly
exists so you can keep yourself busy like that.
Because, when you're in a room with someone, you have to worry about, what this
direct feedback.
You know, it's just not the same. It's
No.
it's you know.
There's and then there's another layer.
The hair
to it
looks
is when
totally
people get
different
anonymous on the internet,
on both cameras.
and they get to hide behind an
Nice.
avatar or an anonymous name, and all they do is type. That's an even.
I guess it's because the ring light is right
It
there.
allows them to really show.
Maybe if I add a light.
And yeah, it's. I do want to answer two of these super chats here. DB, Canadian $5. Thank you very much. Marshall, have you ever been?
Oh my god, that's way too bright.
Your experiences aren't too
But
dissimilar.
that does
to my
look
own.
better.
Maybe
Oh my
the
god.
right diversion.
Do I have a Cash App? Yes, I do.
Right.
Okay, I gotta turn this down.
I think he wanted to get that question in there because I always kind of get a little pissy when people bring that up. Anyway, Jonathan Aiden Scott, $5 generous. What are you streaming each and every day? You guys do.
Okay, that just changed the
Seriously,
light
I'm
type.
not fucking blowing smoke or anything like this. I actually do feel better. Usually, 99% of the time, I feel better about myself when I get up from this chair and go eat my cinnamon rolls and go pass out. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay, what am I
interacting with
doing
chat directly and
wrong?
having this community that I've somehow built up around myself.
There we
is
go.
the best part of my day. It absolutely is the best part of my day. I look forward to it. Most
Wow,
days, if I don't have
okay.
anything going on or like I don't really want to do anything,
Looks pretty good.
I don't want to sit here and whine into the camera making videos. I want to go live. Like,
Yeah.
I like it. I actually like it.
Well,
Yeah, no, I get it.
I mean, yeah, you found
if you
it
want
more
it,
lately. How's that been for you?
there's
It's
that.
I like it way more than I thought I ever would.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Yeah.
Predict the
I don't-
day
I
he
don't
will
think I was even
communicate.
in a place where I could have live streamed for a long time. Just recently, I felt
Well, I mean, it is Friday,
talking to you. Like
so I think we could
for
literally
most
just
of the time that I had to,
sit tight.
just because I was not in a place where I felt kind of open enough and
Yeah.
kind of.
God, this light looks
There was
good.
just something wrong.
Wow.
Man. There was just something wrong. I carried a lot of anger. I carried a lot of just. I don't know. But
Looks
I felt,
way better.
I feel recently, which is probably why I started the live streams to begin with. That
Right.
Should have been
I
done
just
this.
kind of want more. I just kind of feel more open, more like
Yeah.
friendly, more like I want connection with people. And yeah, it's been great. It's been great.
How many of you
Not
done?
so
I've
tight.
done a few, like 5 or 6.
What, that wasn't the answer you wanted?
Start this.
Yeah, like for like 1 week, I've been here for like a week.
Yeah, I noticed.
But like, I like it. I like it a lot more than I thought I would.
You must have wanted me to.
Yeah, it gets addicting.
Never
I
mind.
thought it would. What I started when I started doing it, it was like every other day because I was really afraid that like, oh, go every day and people are gonna show up, and then they did, and it was like they started to expect it every day. And now if I take a day off, they're like, what happened? Are you okay? I'm like, I just need a break.
I'm hilarious.
I actually need a break. And super chat helps. They do. It's a monetary incentive. It pays the bills, honestly. People are very generous. People are crazy generous. And I can't believe how generous. Streaming is absolutely addictive. Right, exactly. And but yeah, man.
I can't believe that this is even a thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you really didn't watch? You really didn't watch a lot of YouTube, or like what? I mean, you just watched the one-off shows and that kind of
Now
thing.
this camera
You never
looks
really did,
weird.
like Kick or Twitch or anything like that.
No,
Yeah.
no. The only things that I would watch on streaming would be like chess.
Right.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. I am curious. I wanted to ask you.
Sure.
I do need to piss again, but maybe after I come back.
Yeah, we can take another break.
Why-
We can take another
yeah.
break. Okay. Okay, we'll take another break.
Rockstar Rainbow.
Okay, why isn't this one charging? Hello? I'll charge it for a little bit.
Got the paint cans. All right, let's get this going again here. All right, I think we're back at it. All right, thanks everybody. We got 343 people in the chat and 302 likes on the stream. Let's fucking go. Like the stream, boys. Let's do it. Thank you. Seriously, guys, thank you for hanging out with me for almost 5 hours now. We are really just getting into this. I think we've been going on with Marshall for maybe, 2-3 hours now? I don't know if you've been keeping a timer. I haven't.
2 hours.
Time flies when you're solving all the world's problems.
That's right.
Anyway, you were about to grill me about something. Let's get back into it.
Well, no grilling, but I am curious. Why did you? I'm sure you thought about this, ad nauseum. But why do you think you started drinking? Like, how did that come about? And how did you start drinking? Why do you think you started drinking? And what was the reason that you continued to drink and just kind of
That's a pretty long question. Before we do that, Fuzzbrain, $5 generous. Thank you. Chat, make sure we're on our worst behavior while Ray is away. I do appreciate that, Fuzzbrain. Jonathan Aiden Scott, $5 generous. 300 plus likes tonight. Keep them coming. Great stream tonight, gentlemen. I want to see a special thanks to both of you for making it happen. Stay strong, stay rabid. Thank you. Apollo of, I keep getting shit because I pronounce this incorrectly. Delos. Can you explain to me why talking about ADHD annoys you? Oh my God. We could talk about that later. I've been interested in exploring more psychological part of YouTube lately. People use it as the reason it's almost always a gotcha when they say words like neurodivergent. It's kind of like, what are you, retarded? Like, that's usually the connotation, is they're trying to insult me, and that's why I usually when I see that in the comments, I generally try to put a squash on it because people usually use that as a way to shut you up. Anyway, you asked me about alcohol, and we can get back into the super chats, guys, afterwards. I do appreciate this. First time I ever drank was with my ex-girlfriend, Maggie, 20 years old. She wanted to do it, and I procured sorry, adjusting the camera. Procured Red Stripe, and I had 5 Red Stripes, and I was drunk, and it was some night, that's for sure. I'll let you fill in the blanks. So I drank for a woman, and I was hardcore straight edge before that, like scenester kid, emo, straight edge, super against it. I still don't like pot. And then in college, once I was 21, it was pretty much like, I remember buying beer at midnight on my birthday and like showing the little lady like that the date's actually this date right now, and she was like, okay, fine. And like, it was off to the races. And I mean, I didn't really do hard liquor until I started drinking in the bars. But one of the things that really did me in was graduating college, and my second girlfriend dumped me and went off with some guy that was 10 years older than me, and I had no social circle anymore, because you don't really have a social circle outside of work once you post-grad. And I was working at a startup at the time that was housed inside of an advertising agency that represented a lot of nightlife in the Columbus, Ohio scene, the big city in Columbus, Ohio. And they represented a lot of bars, and those guys were all about 10, 15 years older than me. And I had no friends. I had nothing to do. I was just been dumped. I was feeling real shitty about myself, and I didn't want to go just home and drink PBR. And when they invited me out to King Avenue 5 was the restaurant on King Avenue in Grandview. And that was one of their clients, and we would get dinner there. And of course, that came with drinks and then Jameson shots. And, you get used to that social aspect of it. And then the work friends become like, you think they're your real friends, and they're really not. And it was kind of their way, I think, of like, they knew I only made like $31,000 out of college. I made no money. My paychecks were legitimately $800 every 2 weeks. It was awful. I was working 40 hours. And, free bar, which was across the street from King Avenue 5. Recording about 4 nights a week. And then, I started drinking at home at my apartment, and then out with the guys, and then basically got that job. I, had a DUI, I drank back here a little bit. Like, it just became a habit to sort of take the place of, it was social life, really. And I was trying to have friends. And anybody who drinks all the time realizes that our friends are not actually your friends. And drinking friends are not your friends. And that's kind of where it started. And then I got laid off, and for some reason, I wanted to move to New York because, I wanted to live somewhere else for a little while. And they have public transit, you don't have to drive to the bar, and then I became a full-blown alcoholic. And then, came back to Ohio after I broke my foot, and then basically moved based on how close I was to a bar or a liquor store, etc. And it just became a life.
Oh, you'll keep me posted? Please do.
I was able to find enemies at bars. And there's a very little difference between the live stream and the live chat and a dialogue. It's almost identical. And what's funny is over the years, I actually was told by several regulars at several different bars that I should start a YouTube channel. And I never really understood what they meant by that, or even how I would, because I would just three sheets to the wind all the time. But I would, sit down next to anybody, be able to strike up some kind of conversation. Sometimes the conversation went terribly. Sometimes it went really well. I've drank with actors and stars and writers. I used to drink with one of the writers on Rick and Morty. He was a regular at the library bar in the Lower East Side of Manhattan, up off Houston Street. He was some Greek guy. He really liked whores. Just put it that way. He had a house in LA and an apartment in the Village, and he bounced between both of them, and he was a good time. He was around, drinks were flowing. You meet people from all walks of life. I've forgotten most of the people more than I remember what I've met over the years, especially in New York City. Because New York City, it's like, what's that, Piano Man? I don't know if that's Bill. I can't remember if that's Billy Joel or that Piano Man's the Piano Man song. That's a real sensation. You sit down at the bar and it's like you can solve all the world's problems. And yeah, you're all drinking, and it was my choice to drink the hard liquor and to really go down the I physiologically got myself addicted on it, and that was my fault. I could have just sat there and had Bud Light, but where's the fun in that? So, alcohol is like an avalanche. It happens slowly and then all at once. And you don't know how to escape. And that's kind of how I see you detox and eventually having to completely relocate, rebuild my life from major urban center back to what my lovely haters would call Podunk, Ohio, it's kind of the same thing. It happened slowly then all at once. It's like, shit, I have to stop because I can't swallow water because my insides are coming out of my throat right now. And I had to go hospitalize myself. And thank God my dad was able to help me do that. And I was actually able to plug out of Columbus, Ohio and move back here. And that's the only reason I'm alive today, except my father came and picked me up and took me to the hospital. Some people will call me weak today. I call them assholes. So, yeah, you asked about alcohol. Alcohol is the best thing and the worst thing. It's really, really good until it isn't. And then it's really, really bad. A lot of AA adherents, the big book, one of the big tenets of the big book is you're not allowed to tell people that alcohol is bad. You're supposed to say, well, if you can handle it, it's a great time. I disagree. I think alcohol did the damage. It wasn't a disease for me. It was the jet fuel that ruined my life and let me burn it all to over 12 years. So, does that even remotely answer your question?
Yeah, no, that does. That does. So you were doing it mostly for the social aspects.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I've always hated being ostracized. And that's one of the things I resent so much about my current state of affairs is I feel like society has really kind of thrown me away. Even though I tried so hard to be good enough for other people. It's very clear that I'm not. And I think that's what ingratiates most of my audience to me is that they see somebody being authentically who they are, and they say, he's not, he relates to me. I get that. I feel the same way. It's sort of an island of misfit toys situation. I used to be able to go to a dive bar. And towards the end, I was in fights and post-2020 and the vaccine and politics in a major liberal urban center. It's like I was getting fighty and I was getting in bar fights and I was getting 86 from places. And I was lucky I didn't get arrested a few times. It was bad. I was really pissed off over 2020. And then that and how that whole plan rolled out and then the Pope and all this, it ruined my life. But in many ways it saved it too, because I wouldn't have ended up back here if I didn't. I would not have been able to get sober if remote work wasn't a thing.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Huh. And
you say you don't really drink though, so.
I do not. No, I've never struggled with alcohol.
Why is it good?
Well, the most I ever drank was in the Navy when I was going through that little spell there, and it was for maybe, 6 months, and I'm sure I took 5 years off my life in that 6 months because me and my friend were just drinking. We get like a 750 milliliter bottle of
I've drank with military guys. You guys can put it back.
That's all.
You can put it back.
It got to the point where our stomachs were both hurting at the same spot, and we look at each other and we're like, we should stop.
Yeah, that's called liver disease.
Yeah.
That's your spleen talking to you. Yeah, you had another question though.
Oh, I was just, I think I was going to ask about, or maybe I was just going to hop.
Hello, this is Shanoa. Now, regarding your question, you're wanting to know what steps does he want to take in your relationship with each other? And you want to know if he's waiting for you to take the next step to show your feelings. Going by your cards, the primary position is filled by the Justice card, which shows that both of you are in a pretty good spot right now. Everything's on the level. Both of you seem to have a good feel for each other. 8 of Pentacles being reversed does show him taking some steps to try and push the relationship forward. He wants something a bit more serious, but he does seem to be at a loss as of how to really bring it up to you. So he is kind of waiting to see something a bit more serious from you, or even if it's like a one off comment. But he is trying to stay his hand so he doesn't come off as overzealous. The final position, being filled by Eight of Wands, does show that within the next week, he will kind of field a question to you. He'll do it over text. It will seem to be innocuous or maybe just a random question, but he will be gauging to see how far you want to take things between the two of you. So if you want more information about what the future holds between the two of you, as well as your compatibility, you can give me a call or send me a message.
It's the same thing. Why are you trying if the answer's always no? Let me, if you're not gonna do it anyway, at least let me blow off some fucking steam instead of making me sit in the cup chair in the corner and take it.
Right. Yeah, okay. I want to, yeah, okay, so interesting.
You know what I mean?
I want to get in your head of like how you think about this. Because
I don't.
It's fascinating.
I
It's
just
fascinating what
say
you do.
things. I just say things. Most of the time, I'm trying to fill dead air. Most of the time, it's not hyperbolic that it has actually been 9 years. It's not hyperbolic that I have not been on so much as a date since 2017. It's not hyperbolic that when I go into a grocery store or something like that, usually if I notice attractive single women, they are looking anywhere but me. It's not hyperbolic that pretty much the only interactions I have with women are checkout girls, cashiers. The cutie at the bank that I asked her if she was even old enough to work there. She did not like that. She did not take that as a compliment or a joke. Because she looked really young and she was wearing like a hoodie, working at a bank. You'd think that you wouldn't be wearing a hoodie working at a bank.
Well, women, that's like,
But God, you can't win for losing. I don't feel like, well, that's not true. I've heard some of the most heinous shit come out of these women's mouths. It's the idea that they're just pure as a driven snow and they're just waves in the field. It's like, honey, no. I've seen the stuff to get you off. It is heinous. Well, what you have to realize is that the manipulated man, whatever you want to call it, this idea that this social contract is supposed to go both ways, well, it stopped going one way. And it seemed like it stopped going my way about 4 years, 5 years after 2020. When women en masse kind of decided, okay, well, if men are going to go for Trump, then men are going to go anti-COVID, and men are going to go Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and men are going to be anti-abortion. Well, we're just going to hate men. And then the institutions have allowed them to do this at a mass societal level. So basically, if the social contract is no longer working, and I'm still meant to pay 15.3% of my income for Social Security, Medicaid, and Medicare, and social programs that I never benefited from, period. And I'm supposed to pay taxes into a system, $604 this year for school district income taxes. I don't have kids. Now, I think motherhood is the most important job that there is on the planet. And I think that women that actually try to be good mothers, and I don't mean good as in, oh, they're the perfect little thing. They actually try and they care about their children. My mother was not always a good mother, but she did love us. And she did try. She meant well. She did her best. And I'm very much like my mother. I'm very temperamental, and I'm very quick to anger. I'm very impatient. Me and my mother are like oil and water because we have the same personality. And it makes sense because I spent most of my time when I was younger with her. So when you also have to remember that none of this is in a vacuum. Like, all of this is the culmination of, well, I've been an adult for 19, almost 20 years now. 19 years. I've been an adult longer now than I was a child. And I was the nicest, and not nice guy TM, not that. I was very nice to women and worshiped the ground they walked on. I moved their mattresses. I helped them build shit. I helped them with their computers. You know, I was always the guy that was solving the problems and ready to cut. And not even with I'm going to get some kind of reward after that. But after so many times of being a good friend, being a good person, and giving myself to other people, you start to realize that they didn't actually appreciate it. They just assumed you would be there for them. They assumed you'd be available with your truck, right? Yeah, they put that truck. You can help me move again, right? Oh, here's my boyfriend. Help me carry the mattress up the stairs. You know, it just,
Yeah.
you get to a point in life where you start to get burned out at the assumptions of altruism without any reciprocation of said altruism. And the social contract used to read that you would get something out of that. And of course, malevolent, manipulative people will always come back at you and say, well, you're not supposed to be a good person for the reward. I said, well, what happens when there's no reward for being a good person? What happens when it's just the expectation that you continue performing the good deeds for the other people who are giving nothing back at you, not even thank you?
That's not a real thing.
What happens then? And what happens when that habitually happens over and over and over again? Jonathan A. Scott, thank you for a very generous $2. Are women worth spending money on? Your thoughts? I don't spend any money on women at all anymore. I haven't. Last time I spent money on a woman in any capacity, aside from my mother, for like a Christmas gift, or my sister, was 2017 when I bought, because this girl was broke too. She was like post-divorce, and she cheated on him a bunch, and she just let him have everything. And like, they lived in a trailer, so they didn't have anything to begin with. And like, I swear she was only dating me because I had a car and she didn't have a driver's license. This is how pathetic this was. She was really hot though. She had 5 other boyfriends. It's like, my attitude and my frustration, and it really only shows when people start picking at me, because you say things like, oh, it's been a decade since I've been with somebody, but maybe it's my fault for not realizing that the layers to that statement nobody is aware of. So they hear that statement and they go, oh my God, incel alert, we gotta tell him to hit the gym, we gotta tell him to fucking work on his personality, we gotta tell him to buy some hair, we gotta tell him this, we gotta tell him that. And it's constant. And I just get so fucking tired of the constant fucking suggestibles. Anything you do, people have nothing but endless suggestibles for you. And I just got tired of that constantly being the thing. And I would say that I commented on my lack of sex or my dating situation maybe 25% of the time when I really first started doing videos. It was like one in every 4 videos was about women in some capacity, but people glob onto that. And you know, the black pill, incel, red pill audience on YouTube is pretty fervent. And yeah, if any of that made sense, let me know. I kind of got a little long-winded there for a second.
No, yeah, it did make sense. I mean, I think there's a good amount of people that you know, they I guess they're trying to give you solutions. You know, they are genuinely trying to help you. But yeah, I mean, you know, because I don't think anybody wants to see, you know, anyone be unhappy with, like, have an unhappy situation with women. And I don't know. I just I think there's a lot of people that hear you voice your grievances and they want to offer you. They're throwing out you know, solutions, things that you could try, things that you could do. You know, and you're saying that kind of just you're not really interested in that. That kind of makes things worse, or it kind of why, you know.
Well, I'm not really sure what you're getting at.
I don't know. It just kind of seems like. Do you feel like there is a way to way forward with your situation with women? Do you feel like you're actively trying to find solutions, or do you have hope at all, or have you just completely given up on any hope of
Completely given up? No. But I'm done giving myself away.
I completely understand that. I completely understand that. I'm sure you have a huge history of like offering so much to women in hopes that thinking that you would get something, and they just used you and used you and used you and then just discarded you.
Well, it wasn't even in hopes of getting peen touched. It wasn't even something like that. It was just quite
Hey,
literally.
how are you?
I just noticed the pattern of if they could take advantage of me or take advantage of my physical labor or my effort or my altruism, they would.
Right.
Just in general. And then almost every time, I kind of even halfway expected something back. It was thrown back in my face. It's like, ew, what the fuck are you saying? Why would you even think that's an option?
Take advantage.
How have
means
you
that
been?
They weren't willing to give you something that you wanted. So if you just
No. It meant they just always assumed I was willing to go be manual labor or emotional labor.
Shortbread cookies.
with they didn't do anything for you. They didn't.
No, never. Not even on a friend basis.
What would you want them to just hang out with you? Basically, is what
No,
you were
Not
what you were
necessarily.
looking for.
I don't know. I don't know why I did all that shit for those bitches. I have no idea.
Yeah.
And I'm actually really pissed off at myself for doing that for so many fucking years.
Yeah.
Because I got nothing out of it. Especially all the fucking happy hours.
What would it take for you to? I'm curious. What would it take for you to spend money on a woman nowadays? What would you have to demonstrate to you?
Should actually show actual interest and actually meet me. Even the women that have acted interested, at the end of the day, when it actually came time to actually meet me or whatever, they always find a way to back out.
So they flake.
To a T. Oh, Jonathan Ain't Scott, $2. Thank you. Working together, can men have a better future? I don't know if that question is at me or you. I think men are on their own usually, in large part. I think a lot of guys are still in this simpy world paradigm where they. I pretty much. What's that?
I was just gonna say. I think we need each other. I think men need to form, male bonds again. I think that's very important.
We all have a friend that loves the McDonald's hot crispy filet-O fish. My friends and you could be that friend. Now enjoy a filet of fish and 10 pieces. It became very clear that they were still peacocking for females in some capacity.
Yeah.
So my actions, my intentions, my emotions, my thoughts were always filtered through the lens of, well, is that going to be creepy or cringy or off-putting to females? Even if it is just a one-on-one conversation like the one we're having right now. You're still asking me, well, why are you doing that if it's so fucking creepy to women? Have you just given up completely? So it always seems to come back to we need to please females. And make sure that women...
No, I'm very aware of this point that you're making. And
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
why, no, I am completely aware. And I think that the point that I'm trying to make is that people don't see that you must be aware of this. You must be aware that, and you don't care. You do not care that these things might upset women, or it's not what they want to hear. It's not attractive or any of these things. It's like, in a sense, the problem with men today is that everything is to please women. Everything is to please their proclivities, their sensitivities, and
Right.
Everything is to be attractive to them. That's why I'm saying I appreciate a lot of what you do, because you're like a big fuck you to the guys who are all it is, their entire identity is built around being attracted to women.
Corporate America. Corporate America chewed me up and spit me out after 15 years of service. Going above and beyond. After 5 p.m., weekends. I spent years on call. I used to work on Sundays in places. Gave my whole life away. Every friend I've ever had, save for my father, has always turned out to be some user that would drop me the first instance that I was a little too socially cringy for them. A little too much. Showed too much of myself. Or a female disapproved. They got married. That chick doesn't want him around me. Happens all the time. I'm always too much. Doesn't matter what it is. Corporate America, complete failure. I just don't work in corporate America, period. Most social circles, I don't even stand a chance. Sports, forget it. I don't want anything to do with sports. I can't compete physically. Like I can't do sports. Bar scene, we discussed it. I overdid it. I can't handle my liquor. Period.
Yeah.
Can't drink. Not an option. When you have had reality slap you in the face enough, and you pivot to other things and you try other things, which is why the house situation pisses me off so much, which is why my living situation right now kind of pisses me off so much. I don't know if you heard it, but there was a giant fucking firework that blasted off right behind my mouth. It's a property behind me. They like set off thermite some nights, and always Friday or Saturday night. Horrible for that. But I have to deal with it because this is where I live. It's not that I set out to actively not give a fuck about what other people think. It's just continually trying to appease everybody all the time left me with nothing but lacking. Nothing but goalposts moving back. And nothing but you're never doing it the right way, not good enough. Same thing with the comments on YouTube. You might get 20% of the people watching you understand what you're trying to fucking say. So maybe that is the appeal of the channel. Maybe that is the appeal of what I'm doing. Is that I am the embodiment of not giving a fuck anymore. But when you habitually keep hearing the word no and you can't win the game, what is it? 25% of game theory is you have to win at least a quarter of the time or a tenth of the time to keep wanting to play the game. I'm 37. I'm half dead. Like I am legitimately, I'm going to be lucky to make it 75. I don't have any time for that. And I don't have any time to play by everybody's rules or not live up to their expectations of what I'm essentially semi-retired. Like my rent to the bank, my mortgage payment is low enough that I can basically work part-time or doing whatever I want and make that payment. Jonathan Aiden Scott, $5 generous. Thank you very much. Have you two ever seen the movie Falling Down? If so, what did you think of it? Do you know Falling Down?
I do not.
It's good. It's good. Michael Douglas. I think it's Michael Douglas. I don't remember who. It's a good movie. It's a good movie. 1988, I think.
On the list.
It's highly recommended. I think it's still free on YouTube. Actually, you were doing movie reviews. I think that one would be a good one for you to watch because I think you would resonate with Falling Down very, very well. It's good.
Okay.
It's a good movie. It's a good movie. I'm not going to talk about it because it's that good. But
Damn.
Jonathan, yes, Falling Down,
I'll watch it.
must see TV. I think it should be in the top 10 of any man's. Cool Hand Luke, Falling Down. There's so many others. Like, have you seen Cool Hand Luke
I have not.
with Paul Newman? You should watch Cool Hand Luke. That's another one that's pretty good. There's a few movies that are like required viewing for guys that are just trying to like own themselves and not give a shit what anybody else thinks. Cool Hand Luke is one of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. Pandora's Box, €2.49. Thank you, sir. You can't compete. There is always someone better. Right. And maybe that's what I'm trying to say, is that what you're seeing is 19 years plus my high school, plus my junior high of, like, I still can picture the table of the hot blonde girls in 7th grade laughing at me for asking out Lindsay, and she, like, spitting her drink out surprised and disgusted about the idea of me asking her out. Like, I still can picture that in my head. It was on a fucking field trip to the Air Force Museum. I still think about that. And that's the thing, men still think about that stuff.
Yeah.
Those quintessential little moments in your life, they were like, oh, that could have gone so much better. And, you know, I'm not opposed. Like, it's not like I'm hateful in person. I'm actually extremely nice. And the problem is, most people see my videos and they're, when I'm sitting here alone, not interacting with the chat or not talking with someone, and I'm just recording a one-off video, so you just get the raw thoughts based on whatever content piece is, and I'm frustrated, you know, I'm tired, I'm hungry, I haven't, you know, whatever is negative happening, and I take it out on the video, and then that gets, I'm a lol cow, whatever, Buzzbrain 999. Honest question. I love honest questions. Honest question, we hear a lot about the divide between men and women in modern dating, but not much about how to bridge it. What do you think it would actually take to bring things back to common ground? At this point, me personally, and I'll get Marshall's take on this after. Me personally, I think the only way the relationship between millennial men and women or Gen Z men and women happens is if women start coming to the court, quite frankly. Because I see guys absolutely killing it in the career. I see guys absolutely killing it in the gym. They're absolute specimens. They're tall. They got all of the things that women want or seemingly want, and they can't get anything. I think women have to come to the court and actually want men again. Personally, I think women, because it's still 2-to-1 interest in anything to do with the opposite sex between men and women. 2 men for every 1 woman. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think, yeah, we have different perspectives on this, I'm sure, but I think there's a huge problem with the incentive structure. You know, things like you know, birth control and just feminism and all the liberal ideology and all the schools, all the colleges, all the movies, all the media showing all these girl bosses, all these high-powered career women. They can sleep around as much as they want. They can, you know, you never know. Because they're on the pill, it kills their hormones. They're very masculine. This is it's like a societal rot. It's like an ideology, you know. And I think it's systemic. I think it's like structural. I don't really think that women aren't going to wake up tomorrow and be like, you know what, I like men now. I want to entertain them. I want to not have such crazy high standards. I don't want my financial independence. I don't want my sexual, you know, freedom to hoe around and cancel pregnancies. And, you know, it's just, there were certain natural deterrents and consequences in place that kept the natural order in things. And a lot of technology has completely usurped, you know, natural order. And so with that, the biological natural order is now usurped. So everything's mutated. It's unnatural. So I think that's a big part of it. Another part of it is I don't know. I think personally, I haven't really done much on my end. If I'm being honest, I haven't stepped into the court. I haven't Jester Max. I haven't, you know. That's what I'm going to try out this summer and see if it really is that bad. You know. Now, you and I, you know, I'm sure it sounds like we've had very different, and you know, we both are very realistic about this. It is about how you look, right? It is a lot about how you look, right? And so, you know, you and I, we've had different sort of experiences with women, and so that has shaped the way that we think about this subject, you know. And so maybe I'm a little more open. This is, you know, you kind of scoff at like this humiliation summer because you're like, well, no, like that would never work. Why would I ever do that? You know, like you're clearly just because you've been in that, and it's just like it's never worked for you. Whereas for me, it's that's not really the case. If I haven't tried for like a decade because my dick didn't work, right? And when your dick doesn't work, it's pretty much a no go with women. I've struggled differently, but getting attention or looks from women, you know, interest from women, smiles from women, good body language was never really a problem for me. And I don't do that to throw that in your face. It's just a truth, and that's shaped the way that I think about women. But I think it's important to get your perspective. A lot, you know, you represent a good proportion of the population that is, you know, it's a sad fact that just the way that you know, that your genetics are, it's just, you know, it's harder for you. It's like so much harder. You have to do so much more, and so you have a completely different view of this. And so it's just, I don't know if that's worth anything to you.
I'm not sure we disagree as much as you think we do. I'm not sure if you're making a comment on the experience level, but I don't think we disagree as much as you think we do here. Richard Solomon, $9.99, thank you. And Me Verde, $2, thank you. Speak your truth, Raymond. Thumbs up to your guest. Thank you, Me Verde. Richard Solomon, $9.99. My sister is a self-proclaimed corporate girl. My buddies hate the corporate world. Maybe it's more of a girl thing. Modern corporate world is designed for women. There is 100% truth to the corporate America is adult daycare for white women so they don't have children. That's a thing. DB177, when you're used to privilege, equality feels like oppression, basically sums up women. Canadian $5. Thank you, DB1777. Jonathan A. Scott, our number one supporter for this evening, $5 generous. If there's a lasting impression you and Marshall would like to leave on each other, what would it be? Thanks for the great collaboration we've seen. That's a great question. That might be a good one to sort of wrap it up and bring it home, if you will. What would you like to impart? What's your goal? Do you have one?
I don't know. I guess I would just want to impart that I want to. I guess I would just want to impart that I'd want to hope that, you know, further, you know, conversations that I think these are necessary. These conversations. You and I are just different men that have different experiences, different perspectives of women, the dating game, of society in general, and you know that we can learn a lot from each other, and
Correct. Yeah.
you have that I don't know. I feel like I want to, you know, understand more about your perspectives, you know, and I don't, you know, I want to see you win. I want to see, you know, you get a woman finally. I want the best for you. I only want positive things for you, and you know, it's not. I think we all. You know, I think everybody should, but you know, I know you get a lot of shit in the comments, and there's a lot of trolls, and just, but you know, I genuinely do want good things for you, man. So I guess that would be my closing statement.
No, I appreciate that. And speaking of guys who want the best for us, Dapper Dev himself is in the chat. Thank you, brother. Good to see you, man. $10 generous. Are you familiar with Dapper Dev's content? I'm sure.
Yeah.
Popular cult.
And I said I went offline. But yeah, I'm currently recording a copy of my ex manipulating, gaslighting, and abusing this other girl I'm talking to. Because, I mean, we were kind of hitting it off. And, like, maybe I would move in with her, but it definitely activated her almonds. So she spent like an hour talking to my friend, like basically saying she won't like be her friend anymore or whatever. And do I like this girl? Maybe we were kind of getting somewhere. I was starting to kind of feel something, but she has some issues. Um, I mean, she's in a domestic violence shelter right now, and I mean, I'm pretty sure she's bipolar. Um, so she has like some issues. Uh, she's just not very reliable as a person. Um, so me personally, when if I'm like in that situation, I'm just like I'm just gonna leave. So right now we're kind of on a break. Yeah, I definitely said some crazy stuff to her. I definitely said you're a bleep bleep bleep. Maybe told her to do a few things. But yeah, right now we're not talking because I had to like watch her get re-brainwashed in real time. Um, so yeah, it's kind of sad, but whatever. I mean, feels like every time I have a chance to move out or go find a life, just doesn't work out. So I guess it's nothing new. Yeah, I'll be. I'll probably be all right. I just really like to leave this state that I'm in. I feel like if I have to live in a box here, it would probably not be for the best. Because she lives in New York, so I would have liked that. But whatever. She's probably doing me a favor anyway. Because if she's that flaky, that we can't even like just do our own business, I'd be in a bad spot if I actually moved basically opposite ends of the country. Um, I don't know, it's just really weird. I don't think this has ever happened to me. Yeah, this has never happened to me where a girl says they really like me and like they keep making these efforts to be around me and like love bomb me and everything, but they're like attached to this crazed person who can like mind control them into not doing certain things. So it's like basically as long as this person doesn't want me to live with her, I mean, I guess it's just I just can't live with her, even though she literally wants it. So I don't know, we're just in really weird times.
Listen, what was the battlefield? Who heard of that? I did. Did you think of it? I write poetry on the side. We're grown-ups now. Maybe there's somebody out there older, and she can school me. Can I get you boys some ice tea? Okay, boys. Just a policeman. And he's not a cop. He's a street. He says you have the right to remain sexy. We're in the complete.
She's going to kill me.
Corey was like, "Yeah, this guy makes more super chats than Tim does." And Luke's like, "Oh, hey, man, hey, so where are you from, man? Yeah, you should come on my show, man." And I'm like, "Okay."
So close.
You're spending all your time.
Fucker, right? He's
Time.
Hello, this is Shanoa. Now, regarding your question, you're wanting to know if RM cut things off with you to go back to his ex wife or if it's someone new. Going by your cards, Seven of Cups being in the primary position does show that someone new did start to catch his eye, which this plays into Four of Wands being in the middle position and reversed. This does show him getting some distance from you. So it does seem that whoever he met, it must have been some woman who he was in contact with for about what? Oh my god. Hello. This is Shanoa. Now, regarding your question, you're wanting to know if RM cut things off with you to go back to his ex wife or if it's someone new. Going by your cards, Seven of Cups being in the primary position shows that someone new did come into his periphery. It seems to have been someone that seemed to check all the right boxes for him, at least. This is further evidenced in Four of Wands in the middle position. With it being reversed, it does show that there's distance between the two of you. So it does seem that he was enticed into forgetting what both of you have and moving on to greener pastures. Ace of Swords being in the final position does suggest that mostly what's luring him to this other woman is mainly sexual. So I would at least take solace in knowing that whatever has possessed him right now is fleeting. It will not be a long term thing. Now, if you want to know what the future between the two of you holds, as well as any other issues that may come up later in the year between the two of you, you can give me a call or send me a message. Hello, this is Shanoa. Now, regarding your question, you have one staff member at your business where you're trying to assess whether you need to fire this person or if they'll take on the challenge and grow from where they are. Going by your cards, the moon being reversed is already going to initially be a negative connotation when it comes to this person. It shows that they are someone who's not really willing to learn from mistakes or really adapt to new environments or taking up challenges. This is further evidenced by Four of Pentacles being in the reverse and in the middle position. It shows that they are very difficult to communicate with. Ace of Swords being reversed and in the final position also shows that there's someone who lacks a lot of initiative at the job. So they aren't really someone who can be relied on when it comes to problem solving. Overall, from what I'm seeing from this reading, you will probably end up having to fire this person. However, obviously, you should have some backup ready, and you should go ahead and see if they can meet some lower benchmark than what you're wanting. If you can at least get them to some sort of benchmark, even if it's lower than your expectation, you could probably work better from that point than where they are right now. So maybe give them 1 month to see if they can meet this reduced expectation. And then you can go ahead and do what you need to do. If you want to know details about what kind of person would best fit for your business, as well as any other issues that may come up with your work, you can give me a call or send me a message. To 3. Hello, this is Shanoa. Now, regarding your question, you're wanting to know if this guy, Mr. Allen, if he's trying to feel you out to gauge his romantic interest, or if he's just playing games and wants attention. Well, going by your cards, 3 of Cups being in the primary position is going to be a positive indicator so far. So it does show that both of you do have some sort of spark between the two of you. 7 of Cups does show that he is mostly trying to feel you out right now. So he is trying to gauge what it is you're wanting from someone else, as well as any other needs you may have. Which this also means that anything that you've displayed is definitely what he's looking for. Now, 7 of Swords is going to be the only concern here, since it's in the last position and reversed. So with that being present, I would be careful with him, since it does seem like he's not entirely opposed to having some sort of rotation of women in his life. So I would just keep an eye on that, depending on how serious the two of you get from these talks. But I don't think it'll be a huge problem later on down the line. Now, if you want more information about what the future holds between the two of you, as well as anything like your compatibility with each other, you can give me a call or send me a message. Hello, this is Shanoa. Now, regarding your question, you're wanting to know if he really loves you. Going by your cards, the Hierophant is going to be a positive indicator right now regarding this question. It does show that he is someone who has pretty simple needs, and it does seem like you meet the measure. However, 8 of Pentacles being in the middle position in reverse does show that obviously there is still room for improvement. So it does seem that this is both. Something just got in my eye. Ah. Okay, I need to turn this other stream off.